Olwen, Hugo, thank you so much for joining ABC Weekend Breakfast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Olwen, I understand this play was all your idea. Why do you like it? What's the appeal?
I think it's this portrait of these people that are actually in us all, and are all around us at the moment, particularly. And I thought it was. I thought, first of all, the structure of the play was fascinating, the form was fascinating, the challenge of it was fascinating, but the content became more and more urgent for me, I suppose.
Hugo, you do a great villain. All of my favourite characters of yours are baddies. And this very verbose and self-aggrandising president doesn't seem to have many redeeming qualities, but I know you don't like to think of characters as purely good or evil, so I'm interested in how you found the sort of moral grey space in the president.
You're right, I don't like to, except occasionally I've played an absolute villain, and in the sense of something being a melodrama, and that's the type of character you need to play. So you need to play that function. You need to enjoy playing a villain. But I don't see this guy as being a villain, and I think the form is very different. It's about more than just an obvious evil dictator. It's not about, we're not really there. That may be how other people see him, but it's not how he sees himself. So how does he see himself? Well, there's very little character written into this script, and our way into it was through the structure, the musicality of the language, the architecture of the language, how it sits on the page. And then slowly by doing it, you start to unearth who this person might be.
Things that were going on in the world back when it was first performed, I mean, the Baader-Meinhof group was just being put on trial, and one can watch the play without any of that context or any of that knowledge. To what extent was it important for you to know that historical context, and do you think that an audience can get what it needs from the play without any of that?
Yeah, we had to do that exploration. Well, what's this reference? Oh, this reference is to World War II, this reference is to Hitler, this reference is probably to Baader-Meinhof, this reference is to Kurt Waldheim. You know, we were doing all that, but then again, we weren't setting it in Vienna in Austria. This is we know it's a Central European country, that's all we know.
But I think also important that you don't bring that into it, in the sense that it stays relating to now. Because if we imbue too much of it, even though we very consciously put it into a speculative present, if we imbue too much of what we are doing with that history, it subliminally goes back to that period, as opposed to coming out to this period. So it's quite a balance, really.
The play was quite unique in its sort of structures as essentially two major monologues, and it felt like it was demanding a particular kind of attention from its audience that is not as simple as sitting back and being entertained.
That was the thing that both thrilled us, excited us about the piece. The demands that it was asking of us. How do you say these lines? How do these lines come out? What is the form of them? What's the structure? What's the music? You're talking about it's like monologues. To me, it's like an opera. It's like there are 4 arias, scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, scene 4, and then there's this other scene as well, which is almost silent.
I think of it being like on a sea of energy that sometimes you just come with the words, or the words are almost like another parallel line, I suppose. You come with the words, and when the two things meet, it's absolutely fantastic, and you just follow it, and you're swept along with it, and you don't even know what you're going to be saying next. Better that you don't know what you're going to be saying next.
I was talking this morning to an actor friend about the voices in your head when you're on stage saying lines. There's at least 10 people in my head, you know, and some of them are quite loud some nights, and some of them just are there to go, stop thinking about that, just, you know, and hopefully, mostly you're just in the one place, but often you're not. And it's like in life, we're listening to someone and thinking about something else, but thinking about them and thinking about what you want to say, and you know, it's just that's being a human being. So.
But because it's so relentless, I suppose, you know, that it just has this forward motion all the time. I feel every night is so different because I discover it every night. But if I dwell on the discovery, if there's a part of my mind going, oh, that's interesting the way that happened. That's interesting the way you said that.
You're gone.
Gone.
Olwen, Hugo, thank you so much for the chat.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.